Delicious content creation. We are back, and today we're gonna make fried cabbage. It's Irish. Let's go! Delicious content creation, ladies and germs. Boys and girls, children of all ages, we are back, and this is the ingredients. Fried cabbage. You need cabbage, and you need something to fry. We got bacon ends because regular bacon is too expensive, and there's not enough of it. These bacon ends are thick, they're chunky, they're delicious, and they don't taste like bacon. They got their own taste, and once you see what they look like, you're going to want to eat these for the rest of your life and not buy bacon anymore because bacon sucks. These also come with pepper bacon ends, which happen to be even more delicious, but they're more expensive. So we're going to jump into this recipe. Let's go! Delicious content creation. Delicious content creation. We are back, and now what I want you to see is the bacon ends. That's what this is called. What we want to do is we want to take as much of this stuff. Look at that. Look at the size of that bacon. Oh my God. Look how thick that is. If you had that at breakfast, you would be happy. We want some of the fat to cook as we cook this down. And as you can see, it's got a lot of meat, but it's all hooked up to fat. That's good. We want that. We're going to throw this in a big old pan, and we're going to fry all this down, but then we're going to separate some of this fat off of the meat, okay? So that we got a lot of fat cooked, and then we can get rid of the meat. Excuse me, my dyslexia kicked in. We got a lot of fat cooked. We can get rid of the fat and keep the meat. That's what I wanted to do. All right, so we're going to fry this up, guys, but we're going to get rid of all that fat, so that when we make the fried cabbage, it's fried cabbage with just meat and not a lot of fat. This is really good if you want to use this for other recipes. You put it in what's called a cloth sack, and then you dump it into something like some beans, some navy bean soup or something, and then this all comes out in the cloth sack, and all the flavor stays inside the beans. We may do that one day. We will see. But right now, let's fry this up in a minute after we chop up the cabbage. It's only two things. Two things. Cabbage, bacon, delicious. Oh, that's three things. My bad. Let's go. Okay, we're back with a little bit more info. This is what you need to do. We're going to have some pieces that have fat. And what we want to do before we cook them is go ahead and make it easier to get some of that fat out of there. So we want to pick off some of these chunks, and then we'll just have big pieces of fat we can chuck out later. Some of this stuff like that, you want to separate it. This is okay. That's not fat. It just looks kind of fatty. And then something like that we'll take off. So now we're going to throw this all in there. And what will happen is the fat will leave the grease behind that fries the cabbage, and the meat and all the flavor will be inside the cabbage as it's fried. So let's go ahead. We're going to separate this off camera, and we're going to chop up the cabbage, and then we're going to fry it down. And then that's a wrap. Let's do it. Delicious. Delicious content creation. Let's get cabbagey. Here's a head of cabbage. We're going to go ahead and try not to cut ourselves as we open it up. Now, believe it or not, we're going to use this whole goddamn head of cabbage, and when you buy them from the store, they should be ready to go. It's going to get fried up, so it's not going to make a difference of what piece we use for what. So let's go ahead and do some chopping. The choppy chop. Now, y'all remember how we did the taco salad? And if you haven't seen that video, you better go watch it. We're going to go ahead and just do some 1-inch type slices. Doesn't have to be 1 inch. It's not really something you're going to have to measure. It's just something you're going to have to fry down and eat. So you want it to be fry downable. And we'll go back across this way. So we got these little square chunky chunks. See that? Goes all the way down through everything. We don't want it to all just be chunks. We want some texture. We want some life into it. We want to know that it didn't come from a box. Now myself, I really enjoy a cabbage in many different meals. And that's how you chop her up. Look at that, guys. Let's give her another little cross chop. We do want them to be bite-sized. We're going to take this, and then we're going to throw that into the pan, and we're going to chop that one up the same way. Delicious content creation. We'll be right back. We're going to go fry up that bacon. Delicious! Delicious content creation. We have the bacon in a 12-inch pan. That's that whole package. That sucker was a whole pound of bacon, I believe. Could be maybe another couple of ounces more or less. It isn't the expensive one. It's one I haven't used, but I know these bacons are always delicious like this. We're going to fry this down. Then, when it's fried down, we're going to come back. I'm going to show you how to separate the meats from the fats. Those fats are good for animals. If you have pets, give them to them. They will love you more. This is going to fry down. We'll be back in a minute. And then we're going to combine the cabbage with the bacon ends with some salt and pepper. And then we're going to get it. Oh, yeah. Fry it on high until it's fried down. You will see the difference. That's raw. When I get done cooking it on high, we'll be back. It's going to be done. Fry it on high. Don't turn it off. Stir it a lot. I'll be back in a second. We'll show you that when this starts frying down. Delicious. Delicious content creation. We're frying it. We've already dumped out some of the steamy, watery. We're down to almost the oil. We want that oil to do the cabbage. We're going to put a lid on that to prevent spatter. There's a lot of splatter that goes around. I mean, if you look over here, I just made a mess. Let me go ahead and wipe that up, kind of, sort of. It's messy. Be careful. Put a lid on so you don't get splattered. Maybe a piece of aluminum foil like we did on that one last recipe. Delicious. We'll be right back. Delicious content creation. We're back, and look at that. We just flipped it over. We had the lid on there for a little while and let it burn down. Look at the brownness on that sucker. We're going to come here, you bastard. You. Gotcha. Okay, look at how golden brown that is. That's what we're looking for. Look at all that oil dripping. That's what's going to cook the cabbage right down here. We need all that for that cabbage. That's a lot of cabbage. We want to crisp this up, cook it down a little bit more. We're going to get rid of some of these big pieces of fat, and we'll be right back. Delicious content creation. Delicious. Delicious content creation. Look at this frying down. Look at how crispy and beautiful that bacon's getting. We're almost there. What we're going to have to do right now is we're going to shut it off for a second and get the fat out. And what we're going to do right now is we're just going to remove some of that fat and then dump in that cabbage. And then we're going to be able to cook them up, heat them up. Delicious. Be right back. All right, we're back. Look at that stuff frying up. We did not find any fat because apparently it fried away and it's gone. So let's throw in the cabbage. Cabbage in the pan. What we're going to do is put as much as we can here for a few seconds. And then what's going to happen, see there's a whole bunch in there. We're just going to go ahead and flip this around a little bit here, because we want that oil and the bacon to be friends. All right, watch it, watch it. This is going to soak up a whole bunch of that oil. It's going to fry it down in temperature. Of course, if I turn the oven back on, the stove back on, it would help to be frying stuff. So let's make sure we don't turn that off. I had turned it off to try to get out the fat, and I forgot to turn it back on. But now it's back on 100%. You can see the numbers down here. Now I'm going to mix this around because we want the oil all over that cabbage. And also, time for the ingredients. What we put is just a little bit of what we do on Delicious Content Creation. Put about a quarter, let's just go a teaspoon of salt. That's just for the cabbage. And we're going to throw some more in because this is going to cook down a little bit. We want it to all go in there. We're going to give it some jots of the pepper. Salt and pepper is the main ingredient of all the Delicious Content Creations foods. And you don't need much more than that now because I'm special in the world. And I love garlic. I'm going to garlic powder that sucker up. You don't need it. It is good to have. So now this is cooking down. We're going to make it do that. We want that cabbage to cook down just a little bit so we can get the rest of the cabbage in. We need all that head of cabbage in for all of that chunk of bacon ends that we put in there. So we're going to go ahead and let this cook down a little bit. You're going to be with me the whole way. I'm going to make sure that we got it doing what we want it to do here. It's already gotten smaller. Only takes a little bit of time for that cabbage to sweat out and get soft. That's how quick it was. Now, it's already soft. This is real time, ladies and germs. I'm going to put the rest of this cabbage right in there with that salt and pepper, with that little bit of garlic powder. And now this is going to steam up some more. And then it's going to get more soft and mushy. And believe it or not, that looked like a lot of food, but god dang it, it cooks down to just a little bit because that cabbage sweats out all of its deliciousness into the sauces that turn into the bacon grease and the cabbage melting in with the bacon ends. And we're going to cook this for a couple seconds. We're going to let it get sweaty. We're going to stir it, mix it. Then we're going to come right back and you're going to see delicious. Yeah! Delicious content creation. Look at this sucker steaming. And that's what happens when you got that cabbage cooking. Oh my God. All right, let's give it a stir real quick, guys. Let's see what we got going on. Oh man, it's frying and popping and crackling. You hear that? Holy smokes. Okay, let's get this out of the way. Let's go ahead and give her another, I dyslexic myself again. That Lisdexia sure does come back on me. I got a little bit of Dame Bramage and it's kind of rough on a guy, you know? Makes it hard to get a date. Means I got to find a girl with Lisdexia. Of course, I'm not looking, so the reason I'm not looking is because I'm cooking. Every girlfriend I've ever got turned into a big old giant tub of lard because I kept feeding her. I got to not do that, but I'm delicious. She's not. This is. You're not. Unless you cook this delicious. Okay, ladies and germs, I just flipped this up and there is just a bunch of delicious burnt looking bacon in this sucker, but this cabbage is almost there. It's still a little rough and tough. See that? We're going to let it steam. Gonna shut it off. I'm going to let that steam so that cabbage will get a little soft. The bacon's done. The delicious is done. We're going to let it steam, let the cabbage get a little bit more cooked. We've been cleaning as we go along. Like I said, always, guys, stay clean when you're doing your cooking. Wipe down stuff. Otherwise, at the end of the day, when you're done, you got a super big mess you got to clean up. Don't be messy. Cleanliness is next to godliness, and fried cabbage is delicious. No next to it. Let's do it. Be back in a minute when we plate this up. Delicious content creation. Delicious content creation. We are back, and this is the final product. We let it sit for about 3 or 4 minutes, not very long. It just got done frying up. What we're going to do is we're going to put this in a plate. Now, since we're trying to be professional looking, I'm going to put my finger on that part of the plate that's broken. You know how poor people are. Let me go ahead and scoop it up. Now, what's going to happen? Look at all that. You better be ready for some deliciousness, some greasiness, some vegetableness. And we're going to throw a little bit on a plate like that. Look, I love those big, thick pieces of cabbage. Oh, my God. Okay, so this is about 3 or 4 people's amount. But for me, like you know, I said in the past, this is more like a 2-people meal. I'll eat half of this without a problem. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and set this down. And we're going to get a little bit of mustard and throw it on there. Watch out. Here we go. All righty. Now, that's the plate. I got some packages of mustard because I am a very poor individual. No monies. I don't buy giant packages of stuff I don't need. I don't make this all the time. So what you want to do is throw a little bit of mustard on there. You get yourself a fork, you scoop it up and eat it. Okay, and another thing you could do, let's get this right, ladies and gentlemen, because this is something that's going to just make you freak out. Yeah, get that out of the way. You get yourself a couple of pieces of bread, all right? And you put some mustard on there. Squeezy. And squeezy. And then you put some of that cabbage in there like that. Let me tell you what, on a sandwich, you box up some of these and take them to lunch. Oh my God, it's so freaking delicious. So this would be fried cabbage sandwich. This is a good way to eat this sucker if you don't want to just have the cabbage and eat it like this in your mouth. Gobble, gobble. I'm going to take a taste. I'll be right back. It's hot. And delicious. Okay, guys. I'm going to take a bite of this sandwich. Okay, that's it. This is celebration. We're going to eat. We'll see you on the next video.